Have you ever wondered everything that you do on your phone, from watching 4K videos to doom scroll Instagram to X, and even to sending a text message? It exists because it took almost six generations of network to reach where are we today. But you ever wondered how we went from phones that could barely make calls to a world now preparing for the launch of 6G? Hi, I am Utkarsh, lawyer by profession and techie by choice. And this is my YouTube channel, The Circuit Council. And today we will discuss about the origin of network in your phone, where it started, how it evolved, where it headed next, and why India got left behind for many years, and what is coming next for the masses of world and India. So before we start discussion about 1G, let's go back in time in 1960s, when all around the world there was a growing need of portable communication devices for the people who were always on the road. And one company named Motorola from United States, yes. Earlier Motorola was USA company, now it is owned under the banner of Lenovo Corporation. Motorola developed the first ever commercial pocket beeper, which eventually evolved and became a pager. And pager was used till around 1996 and 1997. After nearly 15 years of development of page wall, the 1G was introduced in Japan by a company named called NTT, full form Nippon Telegraph and Telephone Corporation, launched the first generation of mobile network for commercial use. It was voice only, no texting, no internet, just voice only. It used analog radio waves to carry your voices from one location to another location. The phones during this time was so heavy, it weighed around 3 to 4 kgs, that it was only used and made for to fit in a moving cars. But with 1G, there was many problems. First was zero encryption. Anyone with proper device can hear your communication, what you are communicating to another person. Poor voice quality, too poor. Always constant background noises. By 1884, all over the Japan, 1G was distributed all over the Japan. In 18 in 1983, America took that technology and gave it to the company called Ameritech in Chicago, and that introduced 1G in USA, which was also called as Advanced Mobile Phone System. If you've ever seen movies from 80s and 90s, you have seen phones like a brick, solid brick, weighing around 1 to 2 kg. Yes, that was the 1G phone that was used for only 4 years ago, particularly movies of 1980s and 1990s. After nearly 11 years of discovery of 1G, 2G was discovered, and 2G was discovered in Europe. It was a significant improvement over 1G, introducing digital voice communication, improved call quality, and allowing for basic data services like text messaging, SMS. And SMS was born there only. 2G was allowed for the internet access. It was extremely limited in functionality. 2G marked transition from analog to digital communication mobile network. It was first launched commercially in 1991 by Radio Ninja in Finland. Yes, Finland was the inventor of 2G. Technologies like GSM, CDMA, TDMA were widely used in 2G networks, featuring the typical speed ranging of about 64 kbps, sufficient for just sending messages and basic browsing. This was the same generation that gave encrypted calls. First, the sound quality had major advancement over 1G. Since the time when GSM was adopted all over the world, and GSM became the standard, global standard for 2G. Now, coming back to Indian perspective, when the world saw 2G in 1989 and early 1990s, India got their first wireless technology in 1995. And the first call was made from Kolkata to New Delhi. That time, Chief Minister of West Bengal, Jyoti Basu, called the first call to Union Communication Minister Ram. It was the first call in India and made using a device called Nokia. This call was particularly made between two locations. Writers Building in Calcutta and Sanchar Bhavan in New Delhi. It took nearly 16 years, fucking 16 years to make the first mobile call in India on the date of invention of 1G. If you remember what I have said earlier, that Japan introduced 1G in 1979 and India got its first call in 1995. After the launch of 2G, nearly after 10 years from the launch of 2G, there was also one type of network that was quietly launched in 2000, and that was called 2.5G. If you have ever used Nokia Asha, yes, Nokia Asha 501 and Nokia Asha, there was three models of Nokia Asha. I used my brother's Nokia Asha, and that phone, there was always on the top showing 2.5G. And didn't know what is 2.5G. I thought it was something between 2G and 3G. It's 2.5G. And exactly this is what it is. It is between 2G and 3G, 2.5G. 2.5G was a technology that was using GPRS that gave the first mobile basic web browsers. And it was a technology that was also used to download something. Although download speed was not at all good, but hey, at least we can download songs. And I used to download songs from a website called Pagalworld.com. And that time, that Pagalworld.com was something which every teenager was mad about because there we got a free songs. After the involvement of 2.5G, 2.75G was also introduced. It was basically introduced in USA, and 2.75G was 300 times more advanced than 2G, and it only restricted to USA. In India, I don't think I have seen 2.75G anywhere around India. The involvement of 2.5G and 2.75G in 2000. Just next year only, in 2001, 3G was launched. First of 2001, 3G was launched. And it was launched by the same company who has launched 1G in 1979, the NTT in Japan. Well, now moving on to the next generation, 3G, also known as third generation of wireless network. So 3G was launched in 1990 in Japan, but it was not available for consumer use till 1st of October 2001, the time when Japan launched its 3G for consumer use. And it was the same company who had developed the 1G, NTT. It featured massive improvements, particularly with data speed and mobile internet capabilities. 3D brought significant improvement in mobile internet capabilities. You can now watch multimedia. You can now do a video call one part of the world to another part of the world. It also gave us a sense of what is internet. See, internet was introduced in 2G. Using 2G for internet was so much so that barely anyone wanted to use it for maximum purpose. So 3G gave us much more capabilities to how to use internet. 3G brought significant mobile internet capabilities, which made possible of web browsing, multimedia content like YouTube first commercial launch. However, the technology saw a slow pace of adoption post the initial launch. This can be attributed to several factors such as concerns about the lack of network security, high deployment cost, necessity of tower installation as previous tower was not compatible with 3G. See, they were using radio frequencies. Now they are using pocket data. This is traffic handling capability that was necessary. What finally led to the global adaptation was 3G was the internet boom in 1998. The demand for the mobile internet skyrocketed during this time, and adoption of 3G technology didn't explode until the launch of first iPhone in 2007. The rise of smartphones led to widespread demand for mobile internet connectivity, which only 3G networks could provide. It also introduced a term mobile broadband because its data transfer speeds capability made it viable alternative for browsing the web. Imagine back in time, when the first generation of network was launched, no one would ever thought that in the next 20 years we will able to do a video call sitting at home from one part of the world to another part of the world. The Indian history of 3G. In December 2008, remember 3G was introduced in 2001, but 3G came to India in 2000. It almost took 7 years for India to adopt 3G. And that 3G was also limited to state-owned corporations like MTNL and BSNL. In 2000, what happened that in 2000, MTNL launched 3G in Mumbai and Delhi, particularly Mumbai. During 2009, 3G coverage expanded and it got up to four metro cities: Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, and Chennai. Still now, private companies were not allowed to use 3G until 2010, when Indian government held the historic 3G spectrum auction spanning 34 days and 180 rounds. The auction was used to raise massive amount of money. It was approximately 15 billion, doubling initial government expectation. Private players, Bharti Airtel, Vodafone, Reliance Communication, secured blocks across various telecom circuits. In late 2010 and 2011, the private telecom companies commercially rolled out their high-speed 3G network. The commercial rolling of 3G served as the primary substance of moving Indian consumers from basic voice calls to mobile internet, video streaming, and early smartphone usage between 2010 and 2014. Now let's go back to late 2009. When India was rolling 3G, the world was already preparing for the arrival of 4G.